Hello, welcome back to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have a very special reading. But before we get into the reading, I quickly want to announce that I will be teaching a tarot course end of December. So if you're interested in learning tarot and astrology from me, you can definitely send me an email given in the description box below. And if you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, you can also do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. Having said that, we have a really special reading for Navratri. We're going to be channeling the energy of the Mahavidya Ma Kali using my Datura plant. And this is the Kala Datura or the Datura metal. And this gets purple and white moonflowers. And this is the Datura that is associated with KALIMAA and her energies. So I'm going to be doing plant spirit communication with my plant and directly channeling messages. No cards today. Okay. Having said that, we have three piles to choose from, and for options, we have my arrows. Pile number one, we have the red arrow, the one with the red feather. Pile number two, we have the neon orange arrow. Pile number three, we have the black and blue arrow. So take a minute, see which arrow is being called to you. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, these are general readings, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot to help the channel grow. And having said that, I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the red arrow, this is your reading on messages from KALIMAA, and we're doing something different today. We are using my dear beloved plant to scry and have like a plant spirit communication channeling session. And before we get into it, something interesting about this arrow is I did break this arrow yesterday, and this is like my favorite arrow. So I was a little upset. But the funny thing is, it flew all the way off my terrace and it was still fine. But I took a bad shot and it snapped because it just went through the concrete. And usually your arrows do crack. So it's kind of funny that it didn't break because it fell off the sky like a huge distance, but it kind of snapped because it just went too hard against the concrete, I guess. So I do feel that has some relevance in this reading. So we will see. So just give me a minute and we'll get to channeling with my Datura plant. A lot of disturbances already. So what I'm hearing right away is the straw that broke camel's back. So I do think you're very resilient. I do think you're very tough, pile number one. And usually things don't get to you. But lately I do sense certain things are getting to you. And I feel you are on edge. You're not able to really ground yourself. So there is this deep need within you to want to ground your energy and also to want to know. And I do think you are especially in a time right now where things are not very clear. You don't have the exact answers that you need. And I think you need to learn to be okay in this not knowing, because I do think the answer will sort of come to you. And now I'm hearing riddles, and I'm reminded of the riddle card from the archetype deck, where the whole point of the riddle is we're not supposed to come to a conclusion right away, right? We're not supposed to have answers, and it is something that we let fester inside us. And I do think you might eventually get an answer, but it might not be what you expect it to be. And I think that itself is going to be a testament of how much your wisdom has grown. I think you're trying too hard right now, pile number one, because now I'm seeing my arrow smash into the concrete. So maybe you need to understand that resistance, force, and stubbornness is not going to get you through this challenge. I think you do need to take up maybe different kind of methods. Maybe you need to come up with more creative solutions to your problem. Because trust me, even what I can say this year, especially for me, whenever I was faced with a challenge, I was sort of flopping until I realized that I really have to get extremely creative to get what I want because, I just wouldn't want to submit to the will of other people, right? And I do think you have a bit of that stubbornness too. You could be either of my fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo. Well, I said Virgo, but I was trying to say Scorpio and Aquarius, Leo, but you could be a Virgo as well. And since I said Virgo, I do think there is something over here on that you're doing on a daily basis, your sixth house activities, your daily habits. And I do think the emphasis is on that, what you do on a daily basis. And I think if you are able to maybe bring in certain changes, it'll be much easier for you to get to where you need to be exactly on your target, right? Bullseye. So you definitely need to maybe change your methods up a little. I think that is a clear message over here. I also feel maybe you're trying to do too much altogether at once, and you might be able to pull that off, but you're not going to be able to bring in that Virgo perfection kind of an energy, right? Virgos are master builders, so you need to understand that you do need to have your blinders on if you're trying to go after something, and maybe you need to only go after that right now. Other things can take a backseat right now, and you will also be able to come to a conclusion that all your other talents, because I do think you're very, very talented in a very eclectic sort of a way, and it's not easy being eclectic, is it? But I do think your main purpose, you will be able to use all your other gifts and talents within it. But right now, I do think you need to focus, and I do think you need to hone in because my eyes are going on the strongest and the biggest stem in my plant. So understand that what you're trying to maybe grow creatively or maybe your other passions, they will not take a backseat. So if that is a fear you have within yourself, please remove it. Pile number one. You will be able to get what you want. It just might not happen in the way you expect it to, in the way you want it. So I do feel there are certain lessons coming up for you in the near future, and your discernment and discrimination is really warranted and needed. And now I'm seeing the moon card, so things will not be as they seem, and it will be a test. So I do think you have been sort of warned for what is to come, but I do see a lot of y'all making it through this test, and what is waiting for you is just a feeling of lightness and a feeling of joy. This tension that you feel that you are under right now, all the pressure that you are in, I do think it will firstly diffuse because it's almost like you need to annihilate your ego over here because that is what is creating all this suffering and pain for you right now. And I do think your ego is sort of the offering over here to the goddess, right? So let go completely and see what kind of magic happens. And again, all you have to do is just take on, one day at a time and one task at a time. And there's an emphasis over here on repetition. Whatever you're trying to do, you have to repeat it on a daily basis if you genuinely want to excel at it and become good or great at it, right? Pile number one. People think it's something complicated. It's not some secret recipe. It's not some secret sauce over here, right? It is a diligence, but it is also the hard work and just the mindfulness of keeping yourself present in the process and not getting swayed by the outcomes, not getting swayed by what other people are doing, but doing what you know you have to do. And once you truly find joy within that, even the not so pleasant experiences, even the sadness or the anxiety, it's not going to weigh on you the way it does right now. So I do think all of this is only happening for you to truly realize your sense of mastery and for you to realize who you truly are. Because I do think you are suffering right now because you don't exactly know who you are. Yes, you have an idea, but I do think you need to maybe meet yourself at a deeper level. And maybe that's why these things are happening for you. Pile number one. I'm looking at the leaves drooping, which is unusual because the leaves of the Datura are usually very erect at night. They usually droop in the daytime. So I do think maybe there's some doom and gloom around you, and you have to sort of extinguish it, right? It is your personal responsibility to keep your energy good and to keep your energy healthy and to even keep yourself at an optimum level to even do the kind of work that is being called of you to do right now, right? By number one. Like, think about it, right? If you have to do your best work, can you do it if you're sick? Can you do it even if you have a cold? Will you be able to truly enjoy it if there is just something on your mind weighing you down? So you have to basically declutter the mind and not your room, Virgos. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm thinking about my best friend. He's a Virgo and he just starts cleaning under any minor inconvenience. So maybe what you need to do is let go of your need of control. You don't have to control everything, you know. And for a lot of you need to build your relationship with Kalima. You need to really build your relationship with her because she will guide you during this uncertainty. She will really help you during this phase, which you don't really know what's going to be the outcome, right? And sometimes we cannot gauge what is the best outcome for us, right? Sometimes we have to just maybe do the right thing and wait long enough for us to see the harvest. And I do think you will be lucky enough to see the harvest over here, by number one. Yes, I'm noticing all the nodes where the leaves used to be, but they're no longer there. So I do think you need to maybe even have a moment of silence and maybe some time to even honor who you have been and understanding that that's not who you can be anymore. So you can sort of, decapitate your ego over here and understand that you would not be able to be who you are right now if it wasn't for who you used to be, by number one. So all this guilt, shame, all this heaviness, you don't have to hold on to it anymore. You really don't have to hold on to it. So let go. Completely surrender. Because I think what is the heaviest is your heart right now. And I do think that is blocking everything for you. So, open the floodgates, right? Because you will be surprised when once you come out of this self-induced pressure that you've put yourself under. You don't have to be in that state all the time. I think that's the message. And understand even the toll it's taking on you, right? Energetically. So you definitely need to do a lot of energy work, whether you are into magic, whether you are a tantric or not, you do witchcraft or not. You have to figure out a way to balance out your energy and to build your energy body up. There's a real emphasis over here on that. I'm noticing all the fresh growth on my plant, and I do feel maybe that is symbolizing that you need to maybe stick to certain new projects that you have started and really see it through in order to again get the full harvest over here. So don't give up right now. Like I said, the way is not going to be, you plowing your way through. It's not going to be a very stubborn kind of energy that is going to help you sail through. Be okay with the change, be okay not knowing and adapting last minute, even if that is not your nature. A lot of people do that, right? A lot of people they love to not know, right? But I do think with you there is this joy and simplicity of enjoying the mundane and what you do every day and not feeling bored by what you have to do. But I get it. I'm really a Taurus, so I totally understand that. But you also need to understand that there is growth waiting for you to happen, and maybe you're being called over here to create something new, and you won't even know unless you even experience it, right? So I think you need to allow yourself to have new experiences. And I'm just noticing the spider web on my plant, and I have been seeing a lot of spiders just everywhere. And I do like spiders. I don't think they're like creepy. But again, there's an analogy of the mother spider weaving her web and the universe, right? And that is sort of a metaphor over here of primordial Kali as well. And I did see a spider even at the Kali temple recently. So I do think spider energy is very, very big with you right now. And you can have your familiars, but you can have more familiars the more you ascend, right? To sort of unlock different parts of yourself. And with the spiders, I feel right now what you need to do is really take stock and an account of what are you what kind of web are you weaving over here, and how can you maybe change the pattern a little, and maybe then see the results. Don't perpetuate a cycle for yourself just because you're used to, right? Chase that desire for something more right now. I think that is what will get you through. And like I said, a lot of diligence, just your daily activities, and really seeing things through. And what I can say is you're only able to pull that off when you truly love what you do, right? You will still want to do it no matter how exhausted you are. And that is what is going to really make you the champion over here, my number one. And my vision is going blank. Anything else you would like to say? Plant has gone silent. Yeah, so again, it's a general reading. Please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for private reading. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the orange arrow, this is your reading on messages from KALIMAA, and today we're doing something different. We're going to do plant spirit communication with my dear beloved Datura plant. And before we even get into it, this arrow, the orange one, I kind of broke it today. Well, it's not so much broken as, I guess when I was trying to fire it, I fired it so hard that the knock of it fell off, and I spent 45 minutes trying to look for the knock, but I couldn't find it. So, and I do feel that has some importance in this message, because Pailwan also had something similar with a broken arrow. So, I think what you need to maybe realize is, you know, maybe there's a way for you to salvage what was lost, and maybe you're not able to see what do you still have, right? Because I was really worked up trying to find that very tiny knock, and I did find another knock, but I couldn't find what I was looking for, right? And I do think that has some relevance to this reading. But just give me a minute and we'll get to channeling with my dear plant. I'm hearing lost and found, and I'm hearing soul retrieval. So, pile number 2, I think maybe a lot of things are coming up for you right now that you weren't expecting to deal with. Maybe you're being more triggered than usual. But I feel all of this is happening so you can lay certain things to rest. Because I do think these things are in your unconscious, and it is making your energy more scattered than it needs to be right now. And again, there's something about you not being able to see what you can salvage over here, because there is something that you will be able to reconstruct, that you will be able to put together by truly realizing that nothing has been truly lost, and how sometimes you have to lose ourselves to truly find ourselves, right? To truly know who we are and what does that mean, right? I do think you are a very individualistic kind of a person. Pile number two, you don't have a lot of people around you who understand you, and I do think it has maybe taken you some time, but I think you're okay with that. You've made peace with it, and I think as a result, soon you will be attracting someone in a romantic sense who will see you for who you truly are, and be able to see all your layers and depths, and even have that patience to really cultivate an understanding about the many layers of you, right? And I wasn't even intending on this to be a love reading, but I guess that's a message for you. So expect that to happen soonish. I'm noticing the threes. So I think your manifestation energy is really high right now. But at the same time, I think you need to stop maybe chasing. Like I said, I think you're searching, you're trying to find something, and you're not going to find it in the way that you think you're going to find it. You're going to find it in the place that you're not even looking right now. What does that mean? I do sense a lot of heaviness over here. And like I said, your scattered energy, you need to balance out the anxiety. I think that is important, firstly. Maybe a lot of you are not eating properly, sleeping properly. Try to balance that out as well. I do think you're going to come into a much busier time in your life. I do think even work is going to be better if you're struggling there. You're not going to struggle so much. You're going to find your mojo back. You're going to find your creativity back. You're going to find your motivation and fire to again go after what you want. But I think right now you have to just you find a way to respect the emptiness, right? Find a way to just be. And like I said, you need to learn to receive. You need to learn to also accept and learn to be more in your feminine energy, because yes, you need to go after your manifestations and work every day, but at the same time, you have to know when to stop and let things come to you, right? You can't always be in your very electric energy. You have to sometimes be in your magnetic energy as well, right? When you have done enough work and you've created enough charge, you become the magnet. So you won't have to do the same kind of running around that maybe you're doing right now. And that's what you need to figure out. How can you elevate? How can you even refine your work, but at the same time not expend the same kind of energy in doing what you're doing, right? I'm not even saying don't have elaborate rituals. I do think that is a part of your spirituality, but I think maybe you need to have a more compact version at times, which will again help you. And now I'm hearing bread, so I don't know what that is about. I'm hearing carbs, so maybe there are body image issues here as well. Maybe that is something you need to work on. And as someone who has body dysmorphia, I would say, just finding that time for yourself every day to have that healthy relationship with your body, which is exercising, getting enough sleep, all those things. It's very important. How you perceive yourself is also very, very important, because you sort of set the tone for how you want other people to perceive you, right? And you have to understand it doesn't always have to be a war-like situation, you know because what I'm seeing over here is you're not able to enjoy. You're so busy doing that you're not even enjoying what you're doing, and you're just doing it. You're just like a train running on the track. So maybe you need to bring more purpose into what you're doing, or find new meaning over here, because I do think you will have a tower moment around you very, very soon. You will have to maybe give up certain things that you're very comfortable in right now, maybe certain unhealthy habits, but it is happening for the better. And I do think this is like a cautionary sign for you in terms of that. We all need like a bang on the head sometimes, right? To sort of wake up. And I'm noticing a snail, like a baby snail, in my pot now, and I didn't notice it so far. And that symbolism, what I feel with the snail is maybe you're trying to keep yourself too small as well, right? You're maybe too focused to see things from a vantage point of view, or even see things from like a higher perspective right now. And maybe that is what you need. You need to be able to see things from a higher perspective, because that is something that was going to truly help you and sort of help you elevate. You cannot just keep crawling all the time, right? And again, I think that is the message over here. How can you refine what you're already doing? How can you do it in a way where maybe you're not expending as much energy? So an evolution for you is inevitable over here, and I think that is going to be a tower moment. And what is making life a little so hard right now, it is your own ego, pile number two. I want you to understand that. I think you're putting on a lot of pressure on yourself, which is honestly hindering your performance instead of helping it. So you really need to check in with yourself and give yourself a minute. Understand that, okay, you are triggered. Try to understand, why are you triggered? Where is the trigger coming from? Because it is clearly coming from somewhere else, right? And you will be able to sort of trace it back to its source, and that's how it will dissolve. So don't ignore things, don't ignore the signs, because I do think maybe you're seeing too many signs. I do think you have a lot of feathers around you, there are all kinds of animals around you, but you're just not able to reconcile what was lost, right? With the broken arrow. So you will you will find what you're looking for once you stop looking. And now I'm hearing Happiness is a Butterfly by Lana, and I just saw a clip on Instagram a few days ago where she was just explaining in a very deep way about how the song is about not chasing and letting things come to you, which is kind of the point. But why I'm laughing is people in the comments, and I can tell they were true Lana fans, because they were like, I love listening to this woman lie for 2 minutes. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. So, and I do think maybe people come to you for advice as well, but maybe right now you need to listen to your own advice. And that's difficult, right? That's difficult. Like, as a tarot reader, I totally get that. But be your best friend right now, you know. Really live what you preach, because you will be able to. And I do think a lot of y'all will be in the public eye very, very soon if you already aren't. You're meant to be seen, you're meant to be heard. You have something invaluable to share. And it's a general reading, but fit it to your situation. But what you have to give, no one can give, truly. And maybe all this is happening so you can realize that and make certain changes that will again help you find who you are, right? Again, I'm noticing the 3 leaves. So create and understand, you will finally be able to create the beautiful heaven inside you, outside yourself now. What is within you will manifest externally. And sometimes you just have to let let the chips fall where they may, right? Not rush things. You- I think maybe you're not able to gauge your own success. And I do think you have a very distorted way of looking at yourself. And that is not helping you right now. So try to have more grace for yourself and understand, right? An individual like you, the kind of circumstances, experiences, trauma it has taken to create someone like you, right? And how rare that is. So the more you truly learn to value yourself right now, I think that will truly change the game for you. Pile number two. And I know it's easier said than done, but learning to love yourself every day and understanding that that itself can look very different, right? Sometimes you need to give yourself the tough love, but sometimes you have to be gentle with yourself. And just because you're gentle and just because you're loving as your default nature doesn't take away your fierceness, right? It doesn't take away your ferocity. Now I'm seeing the wrathful Kali. So understand that, your wrathful aspect is always there. And if the need be, you can pull out the big guns. But it doesn't have to be a forever thing. And you don't have to keep holding the gun forever, right? Put the weapon down. You need to have a four of swords, relaxing, meditation, checking in with yourself. Maybe just doing nothing for a few days. Maybe that's what you need. You need to do just nothing for a few days. And I think that itself will help you again get what you're trying to look for over here. And I do hope you find it, but like I said, it's not going to be in the place where you think it is. And I do think that is a message for me here as well. Maybe I need to look for the knock where I didn't look. And I'm still figuring out where that is. So maybe that's something you need to figure out too. Yeah. My vision is going blank. Anything else you would like to say? Yeah. So again, it's a general reading. Please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for private reading. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the blue arrow, the one with the blue knock, the blue and the black arrow, this is your reading on messages from KALIMAA. And let's just start with the arrow for a minute because pile 1 and 2, I'd, I'd used my broken arrows as options, and I thought that this one I hadn't broken yet, but I realized I did break it, but I sort of put it together and I was able to salvage the whole arrow and still keep it functional. So I think the message here is your ability to maybe put things together, as your own like sweet resurrection, and maybe you've forgotten it because of the intense amount of transformations you've had in your life. And I do think you work with Kalima's energy. You definitely do, whether you do it consciously or not, because you would not be able to just go through so many painful experiences and still be able to resurrect yourself and still be able to get up, right? So you are incredibly magical, pile number 3. But having said that, we will scry with my plant, and we're doing something different today. We are doing plant spirit communication with my dear beloved Tatura. So just give me a minute and we'll get to channeling. So what I'm noticing right away is a very faint spider web going all the way from ground to the leaves, and it almost seems like a bridge over here. And I feel like saying, you are the bridge over here, pile number 3. You're definitely a conduit for channel. This is definitely my style of spiritual occult people, definitely. You have Vijay tantric energy to you, and you're supposed to utilize it. You're supposed to utilize your gifts in this lifetime and create a bridge right from underworld all the way to earth and then to heaven. And you sort of being that connection between the all three. I do think this is a lot even to do with your life purpose now. Yeah. You definitely have a life purpose bigger than yourself, bigger than your own personal ego and the people around you. I do think you understand you're supposed to have an influence on the collective. You're supposed to influence people in a good sort of a way. And I'm also getting like a lot of celebrity energy. So you're definitely going to be seen, known, and you will be famous for whatever you choose to do over here, pile number 3. There is that sort of notoriety, and infamy to you. And with that, what I'm getting is a lot of people do not understand you. A lot of people do not have the patience to really get to know you and understand the many, many layers and details and depths to who you are, and understand your many, many shades. But it doesn't take away from your own personal beauty, pile number three. I think that has been a bit of a test lately for you to still pour into yourself and still admire the different facets of you, even if people around you would, rather choose a more easy option, and whatever that may mean romantically, friends, or even at work. You do have this lone wolf energy, and I think that is going to be necessary for you. You definitely have an old soul. You're not here to make friends, pile number three. I'm sorry, you're not here for love. You've had those things before in your past life. This life for you is about your spiritual liberation and nirvana, and you sort of influencing people on your way out, so to speak, over here. I do feel you on this. Wasn't expecting to get such a message, but I think what you need to truly do is understand, like I said, who you truly are and why you are here. Look at your astrological chart, see where your north node is. It's very important. And I do think your north node is not in any of the water signs. I think a lot of your north nodes could either be Virgo, or I'm getting a lot of Virgo north node over here, or Virgo like energy, because it is sort of about service over here. It is about what you have to do and what you have to give, and I think the more you be of service, I think the better your life will get, because you will karmically balance out the things that you need to, and you will be able to help a lot of people. So if you're not succeeding, pile number three, maybe you're doing something where you're not helping a lot of people, even if it might be in a corporate or something, even if it might be a very worldly thing. You need to understand that your way to liberation is helping people. And you don't, I'm not saying you have to go and work at the community service center. You could do something online over here. We really have to use the internet for good, right? And I do think you would do that if you're not already doing that. You might feel that there are too many holes in your plan, but don't worry. Even if it is such, things will be taken care of. I don't have to tell you much to surrender. I think you do understand when you have to surrender, but I do think there is a lot of weariness over here. Maybe there's this feeling of wanting to go underground, because I'm seeing a snail, and the snail is trying to dig its way down into the earth. Maybe there's this feeling of wanting to hide. Maybe there's this feeling of not wanting to be seen. But that's just not going to work for you, pile number three. Not with the kind of destiny you have. I'm so sorry. And I know I'm being very blunt over here, but just stop wasting your time, honestly. Stop keeping yourself in conflicts that you don't have to keep yourself in, right? You really have to just cut through the chase, even with yourself over here. And I do think you need to have better boundaries. Maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your loved ones, whoever it is, you need to have better boundaries, because you need time for yourself. You need time to really invest in yourself. You need time for your spiritual practices. You need time to meditate and move your body daily. You have to find that time in your busy schedule. Because again, you will only be able to truly be of service to people once you take care of yourself, right? Once your cup is completely full, then it can overflow into other people, and that's how you will be of help. So understand the paradox over here, that you sort of have to help yourself first in order to help other people. And being a martyr being a martyr is not fashionable anymore. This is not the 1400s, by number three. Please understand that. You don't have to be a martyr. I think that was what I was trying to say over here. And I just noticed that I was noticing the soil and the earth more than I was noticing the leaves and the plants. So you do have this ability to hyper focus on things that you really need to at the given time, but I think right now you're just looking down too much. Maybe you need to look upwards. Pile number three. Maybe you need to look at other options around you. And like I said, nothing is ever truly lost, especially with you. You haven't lost parts of yourself. Maybe you need to call parts of yourself back. Maybe you need to do a bit of a soul retrieval ritual. But I think that will itself be very, very healing for you, and it will help you grow. It will help you help other people as well, right? So I do think the particular kind of challenges that you are facing, pile number three, they are supposed to happen only to you, so you can really realize who you are subjectively, right? Understand who you have even been across lifetimes. And I think that is what is going to help you understand where you are right now in your life and why certain things are the way they are. There is an emphasis here on karmic balance. So if you're not getting what you want, maybe you're not doing the right kind of good karma. Because I do see if you do enough right kind of good karma, things will go your way. Things will not be so difficult for you. And like I said, you are a little too powerful, pile number three. I think you had to be nerfed with a little trauma, otherwise you would be too powerful. And I do sense a lot of y'all come from very unconventional backgrounds, not the usual, not the norm. And you still have been able to grow like a wildflower on concrete. And I think that is a testament to your own resilience and your own inner power, right? I feel a lot of y'all want to travel and move. I think that will also happen over here because I'm seeing a flight all of a sudden. So I think that has a message for you. I see travel for you as well. And maybe this travel will happen once, like I said, you've paid your karmic debt. I think that's when things will start really taking off for you. I'm noticing the yellow leaves now. I haven't noticed the yellow leaves the whole reading. So, and this yellow is kind of reminding me of the Manipura chakra. And I was also hearing cats at the beginning of the reading. So, right now you have to move with your confidence. You have to move through your ego in a healthy sort of a way. You have to even learn to project your ego at times and speak up and really be heard. Because, like I said, what you have to give is truly invaluable. And in the giving, you will receive. So, understand that very delicate balance, right? I do think maybe there's certain experiences that make you feel as if it has left a bad taste in your mouth. It has sort of marred your soul. It hasn't marred your soul in any sort of a way. Pile number three. You are as pure as you were before. All these things happen to you. So I do think you need to forgive yourself, right? You can't constantly be an enemy, especially to yourself. And move through that confidence. I do think maybe your confidence is taking a hit right now, and for that, I would say maybe start doing some abs. Start doing like 20 to 15 abs every day, like a quick workout for 15 minutes, leg raises. Work on your abdomen because that is the seat of your confidence, and keep it strong, right? Even if things wither like the yellow leaves, there will be new growth coming in. And I think maybe you forget that at times, by number three, despite being so wise, right? And the problem with wise people is, right, we can give the whole world advice, but sometimes we really need to give that advice to ourselves, right? Yeah, it's tricky territory. I totally get it. But don't not listen to your own advice keep you from giving other people what you have to give them, right? Yeah. So to sum it up, the more you give, the more you will receive, and the more you pour into yourself, the more you will be able to pour into other people, and that's what you need to realize, that no one is truly separate, right? No one is, even if you're giving something to someone else, you're not really giving it to someone else, because you're giving it to another part of yourself. And this is very deep spiritual understanding. This is, we can think about it, we can feel, but to sort of experience that oneness with everything that has been, is, and will be, people you love and people you hate all together, and just truly being able to dissolve that sort of duality for yourself as a direct experience, I think that will just change everything for you, and I think that will also change you as a result. And again, I'm seeing the very faint spider web going back up the leaf from the ground. So being a bridge is not easy, right? Being the channel, being a conduit, being a channel is not easy, right? It means you have to completely empty yourself out to let that divine energy flow into you and out of you, right? It's not easy stuff at all. But you're built for this, pile number three. And I think that's what you truly need to realize. Yeah. Your own power, your own unstoppability, your own ambition over here, your own capacity to experience things, to experience intensity, right? Go beyond the polarity, because that's why you're being pushed from either of the extremes. That understand that. You're experiencing so much duality because you have to rise above it, pile number three. Don't run from the darkness. I think you will find a home there, pile number three. And I'm not even going to elaborate on that. I think if that message is for you, you will understand. Any other messages? Yeah. Anything else you would like to say? Yeah. And my vision is going back. So again, it's a general reading. Please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you.